Welcome back to Canadian Disc Golf Productions. We've got a fun round here out in Peterborough, Ontario for the Fow Bow McGow Memorial.
Say that 3 times fast.
Right? I know, that's quite the tongue twister. I love that. We are at Riverside Park in Peterborough, Ontario for this event. I'm Robbie Holden. Joined beside me is...
Galen Naidoo Harris.
Oh, the Mist Mando boys are here and we are ready.
I'm excited, man. We haven't done commentary together yet. It's like we're missing Brownie. Otherwise, though, dream team.
Yep. Shout out to our other host, Chris Brownie. We miss you, buddy, but this is going to be fun without you. And we start off, we'll jump right into it. We've got hole 1. We got a par 3, 243 feet. Pretty straightforward shot, if you ask me.
I don't know. You're really good at disc golf. Looks pretty hard to me, Robbie. 243 feet straight, nothing in the way. That's tough. We should also mention the format. This is a mixed doubles tournament, best shot. We're going to see 4 shots off every tee, but we're only playing 1 disc per team, of course.
Correct. And we've got team, I'm going to assume this is team kid in play. This is Nikko Forbes and his dad, Karl.
Yeah, and both busting out some patented Forbes forehands. I'm not surprised.
Absolutely.
And we got team Great White North, I presume. This is how I draw it up. Looks like a little bit more turn on that than you'd like, but sort of just a casual backhand turnover, easy peasy.
Yeah, and you can see in the leaves there, it definitely looks a little bit windy out here today, so
yeah, it's
helping those discs turn over.
Yeah, and it's easy from the commentator's booth when we're talking about how easy it is. I'm sure, wind and branches and everything. It's not just, straight up and down. I will say, though, talking about like how you draw this up, I don't mind the forehand, and I know that certainly Nikko and I assume Karl are forehand dominant players, but just with a green like this, with this short grass, I feel like a forehand is going to have a lot more movement off the ground if you miss your line by a little bit. I like the backhand being a little bit more reliable, put something ideally by the basket that'll just stay there.
Yeah, we've just got some approach shots here for par on this one. Karl got his nice and close, so Nikko gave that a little extra oomph, a little short on it, but should have some nice par tap-ins here.
Yeah, perfect line from Nikko, lots of power, just a little low. But yeah, no harm tapping in a couple of pars. Can't all be birdies, as much as we'd love for them to be.
No harm, no foul with a par. Nice cleanup for the group there, and we will move on to hole number 2.
Hole 2, we have a 186-foot par 3, of course. Not having played this course myself, I can't say for sure how our card is going to attack it. For me, though, it looks sort of like a standard backhand hyzer, though I'm wondering if we see some forehands out around that pine tree there, too, with Nikko and Karl. Or just a force-over. Force-over works, too.
Yeah, Nikko loves throwing that forehand, getting some turnover on it, flexing out.
Yeah, there are a lot of forehand dominant players. I feel like Nikko is almost a forehand exclusive player.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
he's really darn good at it, though.
Oh, yeah. Kid can rip. That's more the standard play that I would expect to see, is just airing it out almost to the road and letting it fade back down the hill.
Yep. Karl didn't get the right fade on his disc that I'm sure he would like. Same with that one there. Stays up on the hill. This looks a little better. Getting around all the trees, and oh yeah.
That's looks like maybe edge of circle, maybe a little bit closer, but
yeah,
if you're looking at a disc off the tee, you're pretty happy.
We saw 2 baskets.
You're always
there.
looking at a disc, sorry.
Yeah.
If you're looking at a putt off the tee, you're happy.
Close little run there for Nikko, coming down from the top of the hill at the edge of the road. And just short.
Just short. I gotta say, I'm not a fan of the downhill putts myself. Or of the uphill putts, or just of putting in general.
I was just about to make that comment, but we, downhill, uphill, a little bit of elevation definitely makes a putt that much more difficult than your standard one, but we've got a nice birdie look here.
And cashes. Yeah, looks maybe 20, 25-ish. Not a gimme. Nice putt to clean up the birdie.
That would be my guess, too. And then Nikko just flips in of a Firefly. And we can move on to the next hole.
Is your eyesight that good, or you just know he puts with Fireflies?
Nikko loves his Fireflies. We know that. But we move on now to hole 3. We've got another par 3, 233 feet. This one's adding a lot more difficulty than the first 2 holes that we saw with this wooded gap that you have to get into now.
Yeah, and as is an adage of disc golfers, the hardest thing to do, in my opinion, is just throw straight. Want me to throw left or right? Maybe can't do it the best, but I can do it. Need me to throw a forehand, a backhand? I can try. Throw in a straight line. Are you out of your mind? That's ridiculous.
You can do any shot. You just don't do it when you actually try to. It's all accidental.
Wow. Yeah. I never heard my philosophy put into words like that before.
Right. Here's
Ooh.
Nikko again going for that flex forehand. Hard to tell.
Let's go. Oh. I was thinking that looked perfect, and I was like, oh no, did I get caught up on something? No, it did not. Nikko making it look easy.
Yeah, that's...
And looks like Nikko and Karl are saying, yeah, I don't want to throw straight, so I'm going to make myself a forehand line.
Yeah,
and both executing well.
When your partner's up there beside the basket, he, you know, that's right. Oh, he was beside... There's a second basket. He's beside that other... I mean, that's still a fantastic...
Yeah, still in
shot.
Great shape. But yeah, I thought we were in tap-in territory there. Oh, another real close putt. Now let's see that one more time.
Yeah, Nikko is giving quite the scare to these baskets so far.
If I was a basket, I'd be scared of him.
Right. Won't be much longer before those are falling for him.
Yeah.
Karl trying to knock down the birdie here.
Oh, jeez.
Just a little high and left.
All the chains in the world.
Yep.
I mean, not the strong side, but still. Get some backspin on that putter. You'd think maybe it would think about staying for him.
Yeah. If it just held that ante a little bit longer and just kind of floated right into the chains, I think it would have stuck in there. But started to fight out of it at the end and gets the splash out. But
yeah,
we'll get a couple of pars here from our card.
As you were saying, no harm in a par.
No.
Sometimes it feels like in a best shot doubles, like you have to chase every single birdie. I think you also have to be comfortable parring sometimes.
Yep, absolutely.
Coming up hole 4 here, we have a 221-foot shot. Kind of reminds me in some ways of the last one. You got those trees coming to a peak together, almost making them sort of like an A you can throw at if you're throwing straight. But judging by the way they played the last hole, I'm wondering if Karl and Nikko take it a different way.
Yeah, that shot there almost looked perfect. Just got a little too much turn.
See an unsanctioned dart there from one of our folks in the Great White North.
Nikko trying to flex it over. Doesn't quite get the right turn, or maybe just a little off his line, but...
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like he quite got over on it.
Let's see if Karl can make the correction, and that looks pretty buttery.
Jeez. That's great. It was looking ace run for a moment there.
Yeah, absolutely. They are gonna love that, being down by a stroke right now. Unless Team Great White North can hit a nice big putt here. Never say never. Ooh. Oh.
Not quite.
Yeah, that was looking good for a while.
That was looking good. Yeah, Nikko looking maybe 15 or so feet out. We know he can cash these. And he does.
Money, money, money.
All tied up through 4 holes. Neg 1, neg 1.
Yep, great birdie for Team Kid and Play there. And Team Great White North should just be tapping in this par nice and easy. Figuring out which lie they wanna go for.
You know, we didn't ask before we started. I think it'd be really hilarious if we had the names backwards, and the 2 gentlemen were Kid and Play, and Nikko and Karl were Great White North.
Yeah, I'm making total assumptions on the team names here, but you know, I think my intuition is good enough to be confident in that at least. But maybe we're wrong.
Hey,
who knows?
I think you made the right guess. We'll see if the guess was right.
Yeah. And here we are on hole 5. We got a par 3, 210 feet. Lots of trees in the way again.
But this feels like this fairway was made for Karl and Nikko and their forehands, though. Just a big old flex forehand that comes out of it and finishes right.
Yeah, this is a Nikko special.
Oh, yeah. Not sure quite where that is relative to the basket, but that looked like pretty money to me.
Looks like our players are dealing with a pretty wet tee pad here.
Yeah, I wonder if the... oh, yeah, a little bit of a misfire there from Karl. Wonder if there was any actual water coming down during the round, or if this is just left over. Looks like it's dry for them in the air, but just wet grass, wet tee pads, which always adds that extra layer of difficulty that, like, tough to account for in the commentary booth, but Like really adds an added layer of difficulty.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially on the tee pad when you need to focus on having good footing and you might get an inadvertent slip. That's a great tee shot right there.
Yep. I will say though, I mean, as far as tee pad styles go, that concrete that's a little bit corrugated, that's what you want, right? I mean, you don't want that flat concrete. You don't want, heaven forbid, those like plastic tee pads. Ooh, let's go.
What a great putt there for Karl.
Oh, just absolute cash. But yeah, if you're playing in the rain, you don't mind having those little ridges and the concrete give you some extra traction.
Yep. And here we get the plastic playback for Karl's big putt.
Big old step putt. Ooh. Okay, clean it up. Oh, no.
Unfortunate misses there. We'll give Nikko and Karl another stroke on this hole.
Mm-hmm. Is that not... am I crazy? Is that 2 strokes? I thought that was an unfortunate bogey there from our presumed Great White Northerners.
No, I believe that was a birdie putt.
That was their birdie putt.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. And now on to one of the longer holes on the course. 306 feet. Ain't nothing, especially if you're me. And a low ceiling too. Again, something that sort of works, I feel like, for Nikko's game, where he keeps those discs real low and just burns them just like that. But one of the tougher shots to fire is a really low, really strong shot off the tee. Like 300 feet with like maybe an 8-foot ceiling? That's tough.
And it looks like from these first 2 tee shots that everything coming through this tunnel is just kind of getting forced down into the ground.
Yeah, it does not look like opportune wind for this either.
No.
Looking like some tailwind that's going to shove those discs right down.
That is a pretty solid correction right there. Best tee shot of the group getting through the gap. Still be a long putt, but Nikko giving that a healthy effort to throw in for the birdie.
Nikko, you're a sicko, running it from there. I love it. And Karl just a little inside, but I think one of those 2 will putt just fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he was trying to get that nice and close with Nikko already giving it a run past the basket, but they'll take that, especially after Karl hit that big putt on the last hole.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got some discs making minis there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, another good run.
Yep.
Nobody can quite cash that birdie, though, so be putting for pars.
Nikko with the big par putt. With that swagger as he walks it in.
Onwards and upwards.
Yeah, 2 pars here for our groups. Pretty tough hole, especially in that wind that they were looking at off the tee.
100%. I would imagine there are very few cards taking a birdie here.
Yeah.
With these conditions.
And we move on now to hole 7. We've got a par 3, 296 feet. Looks like we're going out the hill, so we're gonna have a slope to deal with that you're gonna want to match the slope as best you can coming into the hill. I do love this play from Nikko, getting it forced over, and as it flares out, can kind of match the slope. Yep. But he didn't get it turned quite enough.
Yeah, it's a tricky play to, I know that he's a forehand dominant player as I am, and I always sort of look for a forehand first, but, if you have both options in your bag, I think I'd be looking to throw a backhand here. I do like the idea of a forehand that flares out the right way, but I just think it's risky, and I like that play from Karl, just sort of a flat power, maybe a slight hyzer or an overstable disc, and let it fade into the basket.
Yeah, that shot from Karl was as good as you can draw it up on this hole, I think. Another great shot here, just get it out straight and letting it fade at the end of its flight onto the hill.
Yeah, 296, this is a coalesce for me. Just hammering it flat right at that sumac and letting the disc do the work. For you, it's what, like a Berg, 296?
I wish it was a Berg. We got a couple that came up into the trees, but we still got a good look for a putt here. Or at least, we're going to the back basket.
Yeah.
Wow,
serious run from back there.
I love that really just floaty spin bid too. That was really fun to watch.
Yeah.
Another one here.
Really nice floaty spin bids. Wow.
For long birdie looks, both of those were great efforts.
And yeah, what a great drive there from Karl. Nikko, I have this problem sometimes when I'm putting too. You try and get all the power in the world, and sometimes it feels like you lose power because you're trying a little bit too hard. Karl gives it an honest bid too, but again, this is one where this one's a little bit easier than the last, but I don't think you're certainly losing strokes to the whole field if you take a par here.
No, not at all. I mean, it's definitely one of the longer ones we've got out here on the course. Not a gimme in any sort of way, but we've got 2 pars here for our group. No harm, no foul. And we'll take that and move on, I'm sure.
A couple of fun runs on the way, too. Mm-hmm. Always love seeing people give those chains a scare.
Oh, yeah.
And on to hole number 8. We have a 210-foot hole. Looks like it's just over the crest of the hill there. You can probably not quite see it off the tee pad, I'm guessing, but I'm thinking you're going to want to throw something again. Relatively straight if you're throwing a backhand. That'll just sort of fade out and drop. If you're going with this force overhead, I think you want to crank on it pretty hard. Make sure you flip it all the way over so when it fades out, it's coming back towards the basket. Yeah. Not down the hill.
I agree. It's hard to tell from this angle where exactly the baskets are. I think I might see one down there over on the right, but that could be a different basket as well. I'm assuming it's just kind of over this hill.
Yeah. I am not entirely certain, and my review of U-Disc earlier wasn't giving us this level of detail.
Yeah, we do see the basket off there in the background. That could be the one we're playing too. I'm not 100% sure. But
yeah, it was looking to me like it was straight ahead, but could be either thrown a bit to the right. Looks like Karl's maybe drawing up a bit of a turnover here, so... Or maybe not. Yeah, okay, so this is where I was thinking it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, Karl.
Wow.
No way.
Almost gets the ace and gets the brutal roll away.
Oh, man. That is so rude. What a run.
That was like 4 inches short of being right in the heart of the chains. What a run there for Karl.
Jeez. No, I gotta say, I'm kind of surprised we're not getting a plastic playback there. That was a heck of a run.
That was great. It was showing the dangers of the slope here on the green as our players are getting some bad rollaways unless you just park it.
Yeah, I feel like this is a hole where you're probably wanting to throw as little disc as you can. Like for me, I'd be probably throwing a Praxis, maybe even a Berg, but like I don't want to be throwing a mid here if I can't, if I don't have to. I don't want to be throwing a fairway here if I don't have to. These rollaways are real. Oh my god. Nikko's almost taken out the cameraman.
Yeah, with Karl parked there, Nikko trying to throw it in for the birdie, and
as he should.
Yep, absolutely. And we had what I would call Jurassic Park.
Oh no. Oh. You can see him just holding the hand in disbelief. Okay, Karl, don't miss that putt. There you go.
There we go.
Isn't it funny how that happens sometimes? I'm sure it happens to you less than to me, but every once in a while I'll be drawing up a putt and just, you know, in my head I've already got it in the basket. I've made the 6-footer. I'm on the next green already, and then I just put it low.
Yeah, it especially when it's in that like super gimme range where you think you should just be able to lean over and just kind of drop it in the basket, and you know, sometimes our minds aren't exactly where they need to be, and you let one get away from you. But seriously, in doubles, no harm, no foul. And here we are on hole 9, par 3, 195 feet. Pretty straight shot we're looking at here. A couple trees in the way to make it around at the very end of the flight.
Yep, seems to me like you can pretty much play this any way you want. High forehand or backhand hyzer, low flex shot, either way. Straight forehand, straight backhand. If you're feeling like overhand, you could even do that. This just feels like pick whatever you're the most comfortable with, and it feels like that's what our card's doing right now.
Yep, I do love that last play of the big hyzer, just getting it around the trees. Nikko trying to flex something through there, and he does make it through that tree. It did take some speed out, but got through to the other side, so they'll have a look from there.
Yeah, I know for me, I'd be looking either at that big hyzer play, the backhand hyzer, or at just sort of a straight, slow putter, you know, same as last hole, like a Berg or a Praxis sort of thing, just right at it.
Here's the birdie putt.
Oh, and those branches are lower than I thought. Putt looked good out of his hand.
Yeah, it really did. And Karl making up for that low ceiling by going down to a knee.
Yeah, smart play. Probably about the same height as Nikko still.
Yeah.
Wow, good bid.
That was a great bid there. Unfortunately, a little right. And then we've got Team Team Great White North tapping in for the birdie.
Yeah, great birdie to get, and seeing the same tap in, but for a par from Nikko and Karl.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, that was a fun front 9, Robbie. I feel like I got to get out and play this course now.
Yeah, absolutely. That was very fun to watch. We've got a nice battle going on here between our two teams, and we will see you back for the back nine.
Absolutely. For Robbie Holden, I'm Galen Naidoo Harris, and this is another special from the Canadian Disc Golf Productions team.